Welcome student to my channel BioTutor. Today I have come with some important point from nervous system. Okay, it is very important point of nervous system because many questions may come from this part. It is very important for your upcoming exam, that means NEET or something other competitive exams, also even for your board exams. Okay, so please try to keep watching till end, and at the end of the video I will give some questions. 5 questions will be given to you for preparation. These are very important. Okay, so please try to keep watching till end. So today I'm just starting from the first point, that is synapse. What is synapse? Synapse is the, last also I told you, it is a point of contact or junctional point of two neurons. Okay, first one is presynaptic neurons and second one is postsynaptic neurons. One junctional point is there, that is known as synapse. Okay, so here one question may arise. I think you know that the number of synapse always will be higher than the number of neurons in a nervous system, and this number will be 10 more than 10 to the power 14 in case of synapse. But if we compare this one with the total number of neurons in nervous system, we can see that there are only 10 to the power 11 neurons are there. So what is the reason? What is the reason? Okay, so before give this reason, I want to say something because it is very important for you. If you like my video or like my explanation, please give some comments. Please subscribe to see the other videos also. And if you want to ask any questions, you can write in the comment box. I will definitely try to give the answers. So the question, what I've said, the number of neurons always will be the less than the number of synapse in a nervous system. Why? One reason is there. Last day I had shown you the structure of neuron. There I had shown some terminal branches of axon, that is known as axon terminals, and these branches will be in one neuron, that is more than 1000. Clear? So on the basis of that, their terminal knobs will be higher and it will be also near about or more than thousands, because the number of axon, number of terminal knobs also will be depending on the number of axon terminals. Clear? So on the basis of that, their synapse also will be more than 1000. At last, so many neurons will form one nervous system. So if we compare on the basis of the axon terminals, synapse always will be depending on the number of these branches. So if there is, the branches will be higher than the 1000. So what will be happening? Number of the terminal knobs also will be higher than that, and on the basis of that, synapse also will be higher. So if you compare this one, so if we calculate the total number of synapse in whole neurons, that means all neurons of nervous system, there we can see this number always will be the higher or greater than the total number of neurons. Clear? So if the number of synapse will be more than 10 to the power 14, obviously the number of neurons will be less than that. Okay, and here it will be near about 10 to the power 11. Clear? So, or more than 10 to the power 11 or nothing. Next, so this part is very important for you. So here it is also one question, why the numbers of synapse will be higher than the number of neurons in total nervous system. Okay, next I'm going to the next point. Going to the next, first question is, what is stimulus? It is very important to learn what is stimulus. Because if there is no stimulus, nerves will not be excited, they cannot give the response. Okay, suppose I want to touch something, I can feel it. For what? Because nerves will take this stimulus and there some changes will be happening, and this stimulus will be passing through the nerve in the form of some electric impulse, then we can feel this touch. Okay, so here I am just showing things. What is stimulus? Stimulus is some agent. Okay, it may be physical, some chemical agent, or it is coming from external environment. Okay, it may be chemical or it may be physical substances. Okay, it can change the different state of the environment. That means while it is coming from the environment, at first it will passing through the nerves or axon fibers in the form of some electric impulse. Okay, that means it will, while it will be passing, then nerves will be excited or activated, then they will give response. Clear? So this is the first point I am telling. The next point, but there is one most important point. The rate of the stimulus, okay, always will be in maximum level, that is known as threshold level. Clear? So if stimulus works in a threshold level, then the nerve will be excited greatly, otherwise not. Clear? Because if it is given, if the stimulus is working and if the stimulus is given below this threshold level, nerve will not be excited. And if the stimulus is always will be, if the activity of the stimulus is higher than the threshold level, the activity of the nerve will not be stopped, but the activity of the rate of this activity also will not be increasing. So this is the main question. Okay, so this is the stimulus. And next one is, what is response? What is impulse? That is the question. Sorry, what is impulse? It is some electrical waves disturbance. Okay, that means while the stimulus will be passing through the nerves in the form of some electric impulse, electric forms, then it will excite the nerves. Okay, for giving the response to this stimulus, it will be excited, and at that time this stimulus will be passing through this nerves in the form of some electric impulse, or changing the different distributions of the exchange of the ions, and at that time nerve can give the response to the environment. Okay, so that is known as impulse. So last I told you this most important part of the neural coordination is, here the impulse will be passing in the form of some electric impulse. Clear? So this point I have just discussed. Now on the basis of that, I will give one law. It is very important, that is all and none law. All and none. That means all means everything will be happening positively if it is given in sufficient amount, and everything will not be possible if it is not given in sufficient form or sufficient amount. I am just explaining this one in briefly now. Why I have used this sentence. All, that means while stimulus is given in some maximum level or threshold level, then the nerve fibers can be activated, can be excited greatly. Okay, that means we have come to the conclusion of this all. Okay, that means stimulus will be given in threshold level, then the nerve fibers will be excited greatly. But if this level, below this threshold level, nerves will not be excited. Okay, that means none. All means it will be excited, while the stimulus will be a maximum level, that means threshold level, and another is none, that means if the stimulus is given below the threshold level, nerve fibers will not be excited. That means none. Another one is if this level crosses if the level of the stimulus crosses the threshold level, so what will be happening? The activity of nerve fibers will not be stopped, but it will be not increasing. It will remain static. So this is the main thing of the all and none law. It is very important also. Okay. So now I am discussing membrane potential. Okay. So before discussing the membrane potential, I want to say something. Which parts are involved for this membrane potential? First one is axolemma. What is axolemma? Last day I had shown you that neuron or axon fibers have some coverings. Among them, first one is, that means innermost part of this covering is axolemma. That means it covers axon. That is known as axolemma. Okay, and inside the space of this axolemma, that is known as exoplasm. Okay, and here exoplasm and outer part of this nerve fiber or axon is known as ECF. Okay, extracellular fluid, ECF. So there in exoplasm and this ECF, ion distribution or exchange of ions will be happening. But there is one channel is present. It is very important, that is voltage gated channel. Okay, it will remain, it opens, or the opening and closing of this part will be controlled by the distribution of the ions, entry or exits of some ions. Okay, and they are the main responsible for creating the membrane potential. So what is membrane potential? First one, I told you there is one difference in the distribution. If there is no difference in between the distribution of the quantity of ions, membrane potential is not possible. Clear? So the distribution of ions from axolemma to ECF or ECF to axolemma is possible only with the help of this exoplasm, axolemma or voltage gated channels. Clear? So this difference or this difference in the ionic distribution create a potentiality in the membrane that is known as membrane potential. Here one term is coming, that is resting membrane potential. What is that? Resting membrane potential. While the nerve is not excited, at that time the inner part, that means axolemma of the nerve fibers, here it will be, here the ions are voltage, it will be minus, and the other part outside the neuron it will be plus. That means the negativity charge of the axolemma will be negative and charge of the outer part of the neuron, that means ECF, their electrical charge will be positive. Clear? In resting stage. That means at that time potentiality here the will be minus 70 MV, because the concentration of the negative ions will be on the basis of the concentration of the negative ions the inside the axolemma. Here the membrane potentiality will be minus 70 MV, millivolt. Clear? The resting condition, it is known as resting membrane potential. And another one I am discussing on the basis of that is what kinds of ions are involved for the exchanging. sodium and potassium ions play a get role. Calcium is also involved. Sodium and potassium ions are involved. Okay. In resting condition, outside the membrane, that means in ECF, the concentration of the sodium ion will be higher, okay, rather than the exoplasm. And in exoplasm, there the concentration of the positive ion will be higher rather than the sodium ion. So at that time, the inner, that means exolemma, here the potentiality will be minus 70 MV in resting condition. That is known as resting membrane potential. Okay, now I am showing you different kinds of channels, because while the ion will be passing, that means they will be exchanging on the basis of through some channels, and these channels are classified into three types. Clear? First one is diffusion or leakage channels. What are diffusions or leakage channels? Diffusion of leakage channels are there. The channels always will remain open. They will never be closed. And here the distribution of ions always will be very weak. They cannot pass slowly from outside to inside and from inside to outside. So here the creation of this RMP is very weak. That means RMP means resting membrane potential. Okay, and here which process is followed by this channel? Here only the passive movement. Okay, passive transport is involved. That means no energy is involved for this process. That is the diffusion or leakage channels. Clear? Next one is voltage gated channels. This channel is very active for that. Here, through the voltage gated channel, sodium ions will be passing inside during for creating the action potentials, and potassium will be coming out, and actively it will be happening, and maximum level of RMP or resting membrane potential will be created here. And they will not remain open all times. Okay, it will be, they are controlled, they can control their opening and closing on the basis of the distribution of the ions. That means entry or exit of the ions. And here also the passive transport is involved. That means no energy is involved here. And the last one is sodium potassium pump. Okay, here it is where active transport is created. Active transport means here energy is required, and this energy is coming from ATP, adenosine triphosphate, by breaking down the ATP. Okay, and here the RMP will be restored for the further potentiality, for further membrane potential. So three channels I told you. First one is distribution or leakage channels. Second one is voltage gated channel, that is very important, but passive transport will be followed here. And third one is sodium potassium pump. Okay, now I'm showing you one thing, that is what is sodium potassium pump. Just see, one pump is present here across the membrane. Here, while the nerve will be excited, where action potential will be created, at that time three sodium ions will be entering in the exoplasm, and on the basis of that, to maintain the balance, two potassium ions will be coming out to the ECF. For three sodium ions, two potassium ions will be coming out. Okay, here it is known as sodium potassium pump, and here always energy will be required. And from where they are getting this energy? From ATP, and this ATP will be helpful for supplying this ATP. Clear? So this is the picture of sodium potassium pump, and it will be their closing and opening will be depending on the permeability of the ions. Okay, so these things also I have completed. Now I'm showing you different types of potential. That means how does action potential create? How is it created? From resting, how the action potential will be changing from the resting membrane potential. The pictures will be shown here and it will be discussed now. Students, you can see this video. Here I have drawn here first one repolarized state, second one I have written in depolarized state, and third one I have written in resting phase. So first one I have written repolarized state. In sodium potassium pump, what I have said to you, that 3 sodium, while the nerves will be excited, at that time 3 sodium will be entering inside the exoplasm and 2 potassium will be coming out. This portion is known as exoplasm and this portion is known as ECF. Clear? So, in resting phase, that means repolarized phase, for maintaining the balance, sodium will be going out to the ECF and it will be coming out to the ECF, and potassium will be coming inside the membrane, that means in exoplasm, and that is known as repolarized state. And at that time the electric voltage, this potentiality will be changing from again positive to negative. That means due to increasing the number of negative ions inside this membrane, at that time it will be changing from the plus 35 MV to minus 75 MV. That means positive to negative. This is the repolarized state. Clear? And this is the depolarized state. Depolarized state means here 3 sodium ions will be entering the exoplasm and 2 potassium ions will be coming out. Clear? And this depolarized condition will be created while the membrane potentiality will be near about minus 55 MV. And at that time sodium, while this membrane, this portion will be increasing the permeability to the sodium ions, and this sodium will be coming inside this exoplasm. Okay, and at that time, on the basis of that, for maintaining balance, 2 potassium ions will be coming out. This is known as depolarized state or depolarization. And this depolarization will be starting while the membrane potentiality will be coming to just near about minus 55 MV. And after that, it will be going to the positive potentiality. Okay, that means the increasing the potassium ions, positive ions will be increasing inside. The concentration of the positive ions will be increasing here in the exoplasm. And this state is known as, and it will be the maximum depolarization will be plus 35 MV to 40 MV. Okay, 35 to 45 MV. And this is known as depolarized state. And at that time, negativity will be increasing the ECF and positivity will be increasing in the exoplasm. Outer part will be negative. At that time, outer part will be negative like that. Because sodium will be continuously coming here through the channels or voltage gated channels. Okay, and third one is, and this pump is known as sodium potassium pump. And here the last one is resting phase. While the membrane is highly excited, that means it is reaching to the maximum level potentiality, that means near about 35 MV to 40. At that time, it will be gradually decreasing. That means the membrane's outer part of the membrane, that means ECF, will be gradually increasing its permeability to this potassium ions or sodium ions. And this inside this membrane, that means exoplasm, will be increasing the permeability to the potassium ions again. That means it will be changing to its other state again, the resting or repolarized state. So at that time, the inside the membrane, while the potassium will be entering in the exoplasm, and again the sodium, 3 sodium will be coming out to the ECF, and at that time that minus 70 MV will be changing into the 35 MV or 40 MV will be changing to the minus
Here I am
70
showing one
MV.
graph
That
to you.
positive
graph
to negative.
showing the membrane.
I am showing one graph to you now.
That is, I told you
During at that time, while the potential it will be increased, that means depolarized state, it will be changing from negative to positive ions due to entry of the sodium ions, and the potentiality will be maximum will be 35 to 40 MV or 45. It will be discussed here by presenting this graph. So first one, I will see here I have written minus 70 MV. That means in resting membrane potentiality. I told you at that time the concentration of the negative charge will be higher than the ECF. In the exoplasm, the concentration of negative charge always will be higher than the ECF. Oh, okay. And at that time, minimum membrane potentiality inside this exoplasm, that is minus 70 MV. Okay. And at that time, if the stimulus is given below the threshold level, it will be not working, because I told you in all or non-law, there while it will be reaching to the threshold level, that the knobs will be excited. So below the threshold level, the membrane potentiality will be in resting phase, that is known as resting membrane potentiality. But this one is threshold level. Threshold level means here the stimulus is working in maximum level. That means stimulus is given in maximum level. That is known as threshold level. And while it is given in threshold level, the nerve will be excited and it will be reaching to the minus 55 MV. While the nerve impulse will be, potentiality will be reaching to the minus 55 MV, and in threshold level of the giving stimulus, the potentiality will be gradually increasing. This part, the potentiality will be gradually increasing, and it has tendency to move from minus to plus, okay, negative to positive. And this potentiality, while it will be passing from negative ion to positive ion, it will be reaching to the maximum level. Here I have written 40 MV. Sometimes it may be 45 MV also. That means here the maximum potentiality will be reaching in the peak level. That means at that time maximum concentration of the sodium ion will be higher in the exoplasm. And this is known as spike potential. And here have you seen, it is written 55 MV in threshold level. Threshold level means stimulus is giving in a maximum level. And the potentiality will be changing. That means it will be passing from RMP to the depolarized state. Okay? And at that time, the changes, it will be passing to the positive. That means at that time, sodium potassium pump will be working, and sodium and potassium channels will be opening. While the sodium channels will be opening, the sodium ions will be entering inside the exoplasm. Okay, because stimulus is already given in the threshold level, and nerve fibers will be excited. They are starting to be excited. Okay, now it will be passing to this state. This phase from threshold level to maximum, this phase is known as, this portion is known as depolarized state. And at that time, 3 sodium ions will be continuously entering into the exoplasm, and for maintaining the balance, 2 potassium ions will be coming out to the ECF. That means membrane will be highly permeable to sodium ions to take it, this inner portion. And outer portion, that means ECF, will be highly permeable to the potassium ions or negative ions. Okay, so this portion, while it will be reaching in the maximum level, that means sodium concentration is sodium is maximum inside the membrane, that time it is known as spike potential. That means it is reaching at the peak level. Okay, and here I have written 0 MV. That means if this portion, that means it is continuously changing from negative to positive ion, and this 0 MB, that means it is known as overshoot, and from that it will be is always tendency to increase this positive ion inside the exoplasm. And after, while it is reaching to the spike potential, that means peak value, the potentiality will be decreasing. That means at that time, while it will be maximum, while the maximum concentration of sodium in the outside the membrane, at that time this membrane, that means exoplasm, will be gradually decreasing its permeability to the sodium ions, and they have tendency to take the potassium ion here. So while what will be happening, sodium channels will be 3 sodiums will be coming out to the ECF, and 2 potassium ions will be entering inside the exoplasm for each case. Okay, so inside this portion, while it will be again changing from this 40 MB to again to 70 MB, this state, that means positive to negative, that means it will be again coming to the resting membrane condition. It is this portion is known as repolarized state. Okay, this is depolarization, negative to positive, and this is repolarization, positive to negative, plus 40 MV to minus 70 MV. But here, just see, while the nerve will be excited, keep in mind, it will be working at the threshold level of the activity of the stimulus. If the stimulus is given in the threshold level, then it will be working, and it will be starting from 55 MV. Clear? So this portion, it is I have shown in graph form, and I had also shown you the pictures. You have to discuss on the basis of that. But here another event can happen, that is known as hypopolarization. While resting membrane potential, here the concentration of potassium ion always will be more rather than the concentration of sodium ion in the exoplasm. But we can see sometimes the concentration of the sodium ion always will increase the sufficient this concentration level. That means the level is okay, but it will be gradually. After that, again the more concentration, more potassium ions will be entering here. That means it will be reaching this level of the minus 70 MB. That means that what is the value of the resting membrane potential? I told you minus 70 MB. But if continuously potassium ions will be entering, if it crosses this level, so what this condition is known as hyperpolarization. And at that time, resting membrane potential will be gradually decreasing. Okay, this is known as hypopolarization. So this portion also I have told you. Clear? Next one is I am telling you absolutely refractory period. What is that? Absolutely refractory period. Absolutely refractory period means at that time, while the first one, because after giving the impulse, after giving the stimulus, nerve will be excited, I told you, and it will be gradually changing its potentiality. But while the first stimulus is activated and while the first action potential is created, at that time, if we again give the stimulus, so what will be happening? Second membrane potential will not be created. Okay, that is known as absolutely refractory period, and it will be happening during repolarized state. So after completing the activity of the first membrane potential, then the second potential can be activated. Okay, on the basis of the giving stimulus, otherwise not. This is known as absolutely refractory period. Now the most excited part is coming now. I told you I will give some tips, some questions which are very important, okay, for your exam. Please listen to me. What are these? You may copy this one also. So first one is, which ions are required for nerve impulse conduction? Which ions are required for nerve impulse conduction? Okay, so the first question you may copy, which ions are required for nerve impulse conduction? Can you guess the answer? If you may copy the question and you write in the comment box this answer. Okay, I'm giving you this one as task. The first one, which ants are required for nerve impulse conduction? This is the first question. Second question, what is the value of membrane potentiality in overshoot condition, overshoot level? I had shown you one graph. On the basis of that, I have given this question. What is the value of membrane potentiality in overshoot level? Third question, what is the action potential of the nerves, the actual action potential of nerve cell? Okay, and the next question is, what is the typical value of membrane potential? Typical value of resting membrane potential. What is the typical value of resting membrane potential? Okay, next question is, which pump, which thing, which pathway, or which procedure, which process, whatever, which pathway, which source, which process is involved for maintaining the resting membrane potential? Okay, and the last question is, how many numbers of synapses are present in total nervous system? Okay, I repeat the question again. Which ants are required for nerve impulse conduction? You may write this answer in comment box. Otherwise, I will tell you this answer. I will give you the answer in your as reply, or next day I will tell you the answer first. These are very important for you. Which ants are required for nerve impulse conduction? The first question. Second one, giving also this question on the screen. You may copy from here. Second is, what is the value of membrane potentiality in overshoot condition? Okay, overshoot level. Second question is, what is the value of action potential of nerve cell? And next question, what is the typical value of membrane potential? Next question, what is the source or pathway for creating this resting membrane potential? And how many numbers of synapses are present in nervous system? Okay, so next day I will discuss these answers. But if you want to give the answers, students, please write in the comment box. Thank you. Next day again I will come with some important part of nervous system.